Please be joined by the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee, and it is a new era with Derek Mason as the first year at the helm. Congratulations on the new job. And you were with ESPN last year, so I know you did the TV thing, but this is back to your roots. Also, quarterback Nicholas Vadiato and safety Brendan Harris. All three of you, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So a new era.
Right.
What has it been like so far taking over?
It's been fun. Our players are outstanding. The program, the city, it's a great feel. It's a blue-collar place. People work extremely hard, and what we've tried to do is be very representative of who they are. We show up every day. Every day's a job interview. We go from the class to the grass, and we really understand exactly who we want to be.
A lot of new faces.
Yeah.
59 new players.
Yeah.
How did you find them, and what has it been like integrating them into the new program?
Well, our roster is going to turn over from year to year. That's the new state of college football, right? But I think what's important about who we are, we needed to find people that fit. There were some in the program that needed to find, other opportunities, and that's what the transfer portal was for. Finding this new group, it's littered with old and new, right? You lose the middle of your roster with all the moving, right? And so you have an old part of your roster and a young part of your roster, and you have to have mature leaders in that locker room to help cultivate your culture. And so that's what we've done. We've got a good locker room. They're young, they're inquisitive, or they're old veterans who work extremely hard.
You've done some new things as well, changed some things around. So morning practices.
That's right.
You're in the community,
Right.
you're vocal, you're
Right.
visible. What
Right.
have the changes been like in terms of just even fans coming by? What have they said? What have they seen?
You know, they feel a part of this journey. You know, I'm a rookie, right? I'm the new guy on the job. And so what I've tried to do is make sure that people know who we are. There's not a gas station I'll pass. There's not a supermarket that I don't go into where I don't have the opportunity to connect. So I connect as much as I can, but our players are doing a fantastic job of touching this community, and this community is starting to touch it back, right? I think what you give is what you get. It's called karma. And right now, the karma is really good.
So let's talk identity, offensively. What have you seen? What do you want to, what kind of a style do you want to run?
Well, it's a take of what's been in our program. I thought Coach Stockstill was one of the greatest offensive minds, in Group of Five football. When you talk about his prowess as an offensive play caller and development of quarterbacks, so we're taking pieces of that DNA, but we've infused it with some West Coast principles, multiple use of personnel. And we're still going to have some tempo to what we do. So I like where we are offensively. I think it's multiple. I think it's fast. I think it allows our quarterback to be efficient. And he runs the show. Nick Vadiato runs this show.
Well, Nick, what is it like hearing your coach telling you that you run the show? What has that responsibility been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I take a lot of pride in it. Obviously, I think from the moment Coach came in, it was clear that he had a vision in mind, and I think that he's done a really good job instilling that vision into us, and that making sure that leaders on our team, like Brendan and myself, we get that message, and then we still are able to get that out to the rest of the team and the rest of the guys. Coach always says all the time, player-led, coach-fed. There's only so much that coaches can do, and then until players start to take over. And I think players are the most important part of your team because they're out there on the field, and we have to take pride in ourselves that what we're doing is what we're supposed to be doing, and that when we go out there on the field, that the product out there is going to be very good.
You made the shift to morning practices.
Yep.
What's that adjustment been like?
Again, up a little bit earlier. But, no, I mean, it's been good. It's been good. I mean, we're out there stretching before the sun comes up. And I think it's just, it reflects the mentality I think Coach Mason's brought into the program about being blue collar. We're getting up early. We're putting our work in. And now I get it. Every other team in the country's putting their work in, but we're going to do it in a way that is going to make us better, and it's going to reflect that, the people on our team and who we are as a team when we're out there playing.
You had a very unique opportunity. You attended the Manning camp. Not many people get that invite.
Yep.
What was that experience like, and what did you work on?
It was amazing. I mean, just to be around such respected people like the Mannings. I mean, first of all, amazing family, well respected in the community when it comes to football. Obviously, all the accomplishments they've had. I think just being around them and then the rest of the college quarterbacks for a weekend in Louisiana was an experience that I'll cherish forever. Just being around those guys, you created new friends and you got to know everyone on a personal level a little bit, and you respect those guys. And obviously, I'll compete against a few of the guys that I met this year, but I mean, at the end of the day, those guys are as hard workers as you'll meet, and I think the Mannings were great, just kind of being as cool of a person as you can be, and they instilled a lot of knowledge that they have with us, and it's something I'll carry on for the rest of my career and life.
Was there one piece of advice that you took away that you didn't know before going in?
I mean, I think you realize that it doesn't take anything special, I think, to be a great player. I think it's consistency, and it's working hard, and sometimes you got to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, but I think when you look at it, and obviously Peyton and Eli were two great examples of it, is that you put in the work and you do what you're supposed to, and you'll find success. And I think that just watching them and how consistent they were for their entire playing career, it was motivational, and there was a lot to learn from them. And I think that it's something I'll look at and I'll definitely take with me for the rest of my life.
You topped 3,000 yards last season. Let's take a look at a highlight from one of those plays. We have a touchdown pass, and walk me through what the call was and what you saw on the field.
Yeah, so this play, we were down in the red zone, I think this week, prepping for UTEP. We knew when we got down in the red zone, they were going to bring some type of pressure and play a more cover zero look. So this play actually started with Frank, who's our running back. He was actually out wide, so we had a 4-by-1 formation and empty. And, I was able, O-line did a good job calling out the pressure. So changed the protection, brought Frank back into the backfield, actually, for him to pick up the blitzing linebacker. And they actually brought, I want to say, one too many for us to block. The boundary safety coming off the edge actually isn't accounted for, and we knew that. So, we just had to trust. Like, I trusted Holden. Holden had his man-on-man route, his one-on-one. He was going to win it, made a great route, made a great strong catch, and obviously was able to break a tackle and score. And I think that's just a credit to, obviously the guys like Holden, who's with us now, Frank, who's still with us now, a lot of that O-line who stayed from last year. Like Coach Mason was saying, like, we have a lot of a strong foundation, and then a lot of new guys who are going to kind of come in, and we're ready for it. We're excited, and I think that's just a small example of what we have and what we're going to bring.
Coach Mason, you've been around some really good quarterbacks.
Yes.
Really good ones.
Right.
Talk about Nick's ability to break down a play and just his preparation and where that stacks up to some of the great ones you've been around.
I can go back to being at Stanford, with Andrew Luck and seeing Pep Hamilton and Greg Roman, two NFL coordinators, but at the time they were in college football, how they sort of operated with Andrew. And Andrew was smart, extremely analytical, but very precise when it came to what he wanted to do. I think between the chemistry that I see developing between Bodie Reeder and him is very much the same. Bodie Reeder's a football savant. That's what he does. And I think Nick's a football savant. And when you get savants in a room and they're talking football, for everybody else, it can put you to sleep, right? Because it's a lot, it's monotonous. But for them, they're looking for the details within the details that allow you to be successful. And sometimes that's a hair between an alignment from a tight end to a back and his protection scan to what you're going to do in terms of flipping the front. In order to get it protected. So right now, I'm extremely excited to see the pairing of these two because they're two really good minds. And when you talk about situational football, they have to be good. Red zone, you just showed it. If you're good, it shows up. If you're not, that's generally where you lose ball games.
Nice. Let's talk defense now. What have you seen from that unit?
It's led by Brian Stewart. Brian Stewart's no stranger to college football or the NFL. Man, he's a Wade Phillips disciple, and so you're going to get pressure, right? And I think that's what's happened with our defense. Our defense has learned how we need to stop the run and what we need to do to earn the right to rush the passer, because that's what it is nowadays. You got to stop the run and earn the right. So Brendan helps with that because he's a veteran. He's been around me. I saw him as a freshman, and now I get a chance to see him in his farewell tour as a seventh-year player. So guys like him make it easy.
Brendan, let's talk about your journey a little bit, because you originally were at Vanderbilt, recruited by Coach Mason, and now here you are coming full circle. Why did you want to reconnect here in your final season?
Just as a young guy, it was fun to be able to be under Coach Mason and learn from under him. He poured a lot into me, and a lot of who I am today is from what he taught me. So coming around, Coach Mason, it's hard to build a program and it's hard to build a team, and him being here with his first season and his new team, I want to be able to be that piece in the locker room to help set the culture, be the connection between the players and the coaches, and just try to be the standard, you know, try to show everybody what it's supposed to look like and how you're supposed to do it, and just be that example.
Can you explain your story a little bit, just kind of what you've gone through over your career and how you've used that story to kind of help guide the younger players on the team?
I just came in, again, I came in like everybody else as a young guy, really just trying to figure everything out, just taking everything in as I can. And as I got later into my career, where I was able to actually get on the field, you learn a lot from mistakes, which I made a lot of, you know. So for me, it's just me trying to pass down what I've learned from those mistakes to those young guys. You know, that's the easiest way to learn, is from somebody who's already been there, somebody who's already done it. And again, just trying to show them the mentality and the attitude and the effort you have to put in every day and just show up with to maintain and be able to play at a consistent level.
You have a lot of law enforcement in your family, and I understand you want to be in the FBI?
Yeah, so eventually when I'm done with football, I just want to stick to something that I feel like I can be in a routine with, a team environment. And again, I just want to continue that legacy of law enforcement within my family. And I wanted to do it at a high level. You know, I was able to attend 2 prestigious universities, and now I'm at Middle Tennessee, continuing my education further in that. So when I'm done, I just want to continue to compete and do things at a high level.
I see why you are a leader. It shows. You're also a shoe collector.
Yes, sir.
What kind of shoes are we talking?
So I kind of just made the transition to more stylish shoes. So Golden Gooses are kind of my thing right now.
Okay.
But I also like to fall back to something that's just more casual and comfortable. So New Balances, got some Nikes, some P6000s in there. So just kind of variety of everything.
When we say collection, how many pairs are we talking here?
Oh yeah, we got the picture right there.
Okay.
I mean, it's grown over the years, and luckily for me, my foot hasn't grown, so I can just continue. I can just keep the shoes and just keep piling them up. But I mean, probably over 60, 70, just keeping them there. Like, that's my thing. Some people spend their money on travel, cars and things. For me, it's shoes.
I respect that. Okay. Okay. Do we have a play for Brendan Harris? I want to see. Let's take a look at one of your highlights, and we can get to a defensive play for Brendan Harris. Nope, we don't have one. Okay, my apologies. Special teams. We haven't talked about that unit yet.
Yeah.
What have you seen so far from that side?
You know, I think it starts with the leadership at the top. We have, you know, an All-American returning, like in our long snapper, which is crazy because you rarely hear about long snappers, but Brody is one of the best in the business. But Zeke Rankin, our kicker, is a senior, and that group is led really by Luke Pascal. He's an MTSU grad. He's had the opportunity to come back home, and I think that's important. He's instilled in our guys a culture of special teams, and a lot of coaches say that they have special teams. I don't know how much they buy into special teams. We have special teams practices. These guys have player-led practices in the summer that are strictly devoted to special teams, and those guys are out there for 45 minutes to an hour, 3 days a week, okay, just working on the mechanics, because if you're going to be a good player on any team, it starts with special teams. That's the way you'll make it on our bus, right? And if you ever want to be a pro, okay, it's about, have you learned those skills? Because learning at that level, at the NFL level, is too late. So we've paid a lot of attention to what it takes to play great special teams. Getting him was the first caveat, but what we have in the program is outstanding, and everybody's bought in fully.
Nice. Let's take a look at your schedule. Your first season at Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
Take me through what your expectations are, and then talk about maybe some of the highlights that you see on the screen.
You know, we get a chance to kick it off with Tennessee Tech on August 31st, and, you know, we're definitely excited about that. But then, I mean, you get into real football real fast, right? And it starts with Ole Miss, and I'm no stranger, we're no stranger to what Lane Kiffin can do, you know, with that offense, and they're very much revamped on defense. Western Kentucky early, you know, 100 miles of hate, and that gets that opportunity is at our house, and that's a great football game for us. It'll be a great gauge to see where we are early in the conference schedule. Manny Diaz gets a chance to come back home. He was a defense coordinator at MTSU about 10, 15 years ago, so I know Manny well. And then I get a chance to see Ryan Silverfield at Memphis. So when you look at that first 5-game stretch, it's a good first test, and then it gets challenging real fast. But then we get into the meat and potatoes of what a schedule looks like in this conference, right? Because you've got midweek games. So we've got a stretch of midweek games with La Tech, Kennesaw State, Jack State. We get a bye, like with UTEP. We got to play the best of the best in this conference in Liberty. And then, obviously, we finish with New Mexico State and FIU.
New era at Middle Tennessee. Coach Mason,
Yeah.
good luck in your first season.
Thank you.